Hey, how's it going, guys? Finally back with some community support. Actually, I'm technically doing 4 channels today. There is one I'm going to start off with. I missed out on the contest, unfortunately, so sorry about that. That contest would be Lyndsay's Geeked at Knacks. I think it ended either yesterday or the day before. Uh, she had 2 things she wanted me to go over. Says, what would you buy for a $50 Amazon gift card? And tell me something I don't know about you. So I guess I'm still looking for Twin Peaks: The Return. It's still 50 bucks on Amazon, so that was going to be my answer for that. And I've been a vegetarian for a year and a half. So there you go. Everyone check out Lyndsay's channel. Sorry once again I missed out on making a contest video. Just got too busy with everything, I guess. Next thing I knew it was all over. So, and if you guys have any contests you'd like me to participate in, feel free to always leave a comment on these type of videos because I always like doing these type of things. But I do have 3 active contests I'll talk about tonight. The first one, he's been begging me to do it. So I thought about waiting until the last day, but I'm going to go ahead and do it now. I don't want to be like I said, with missing Lyndsay's contest, I don't want to miss out on this person's contest. And that's A Poor Man's Comics. He's celebrating 225 subscribers. So congratulations. Well deserved. And what he wants me to talk about are my 10 best pickups of 2018 and show off some bargain bin books. I narrowed it down to just 16. So because that's what I do here. So number one. Oh, whoops! I didn't get this year. Huh. Oh, there's that. Gotham City Sirens #1, signed by J.G. Jones, 1 in 10 variant. We'll just put that to a side. No context there. It's a great book. Glad to have it. But anyway, without further ado, here are my top 16 pickups of 2018 so far. So got this at my local shop in a bundle for maybe 20 bucks. The first 10 or 12 issues. So I actually got it signed by David Mack. Sorry about the Mylar glare there, right above my finger there. I told him how much I got this for. He's like, how and why? I'm like, dude, I don't know. I just bought the bundle from my local shop. So I was very happy to get Alias #1 finally. It was on my want list for a little bit. So happy to have that. My cover of the year is still Batgirl #23. This book is getting nuts, like on eBay and in the community in terms of trying to afford this book. Luckily, I got mine for $3.99, but I absolutely love this cover. I actually went to my local shop today and begged him to put all the Josh Middleton variants on my pull list because he's been killing it lately. So absolutely, that's definitely my cover of the year for 2018, without a doubt. Next up, this one is a destroyed, beat up copy for the most part. I'm still happy to have it. Batman 234, awesome Neil Adams Two-Face cover. I believe this is technically the first Silver Age Two-Face or something crazy like that, but always wanted this Neil Adams cover. Thought it was awesome. Unfortunately, it's all nice and tore up, but actually I think the cover is still attached if I remember right. So love these old Neil Adams covers. Gotta love it. Next up, these next 2, if you watch my previous live stream, absolutely had to include these. Batman Detective Comics 871, the start of Jock's awesome run on Batman. Phenomenal Jock artwork. This was on my 2018 want list, so got that for a steal. If you guys don't know about that bundle I got, just check out my previous live stream. And as you guys also know, got $8.80 in that bundle. Never thought I'd own this for an affordable price, so I was happy to, I guess, get a stealth buy, kind of, if you will, on it. So absolutely phenomenal cover. I heard through the grapevine that Jock had like a really cool print of this, kind of like he had on the 871, which, yeah, I don't know why I didn't buy this. Well, it was $100, but if it was a Friday of the convention instead of a Saturday, I'd own that print. But apparently there's a print like that, like of this too. So I might have to do some research on that, see what that's like. Next up, not really a stealth buy, but just a book I was looking for a little while. Doctor Strange 169. First time Doctor Strange was his own ongoing title. I think I got this for 35 bucks, which I still don't see this book for $35 often at all. Some little jerk kid who's probably a senior citizen now took a ballpoint pen, drew on it, but it is what it is. Still happy to have this book. And that chains into my next one, Doctor Strange #1. Awesome Frank Bruner art in this one. Got this on Lords of the Long Box's auction way back, I think maybe February. Darkside Jedi had a phenomenal deal on a Doctor Strange lot. Still looking for Doctor Strange #2 though. Still haven't found a good copy for the right price. I think I got one in issues 3 through 10 in the giant size from Darkside Jedi. But happy to have the issue 1. Looking for #2 still, so we'll see if I get that this year. Next up, another destroyed book, but it's something I've wanted since I was a kid. G.I. Joe #1. This copy looks like it's been ran over by a car. Centerfold's fallen out. It's still with the book though, but dang, I'm happy to have this. Luckily, I paid $12 for it. G.I. Joe's issue 1 through 10, so it's not like I broke the bank getting this. Sorry, I'm trying to avoid the Mylargular, I promise. I'll just go with this angle here. I would like to upgrade this book. Alex, if you're watching, I saw it on your auction. You didn't sell it yet. Hit me up. But anyway, love having G.I. Joe #1 in my collection. One I always wanted. Next up, got a series of Green Lanterns I got this year. Been trying to collect these Silver Age ones. I've slowed down quite a bit over the last several months. But this one I got in the lot. I may have only paid like $8 for this issue. The back of this issue is kind of jacked up, but still presents really well. This is Green Lantern #40. This kind of like the origin story of the Guardians of the Universe, and one of the very first times like the multiverse of DC is addressed. So very cool to own this issue, especially getting it on the cheap. Well, at least cheap for, Silver Age books. Next up, a cover I was extremely happy to get in a previous lot. Green Lantern 52. Always love that awesome Green Lantern and Sinestro cover. It's been swiped many times over, but I'm glad to have the original. And then I think this is the last Green Lantern in this lot. This is still kind of a placeholder for my 2 I got off the CGC. This is Green Lantern 86. So I have 85, 86, and 87 I got in a lot. Probably paid like, there's a ton of books in the lot, like probably 50 books, but I think it factored out to be like $7 or $8 a piece. So I got the first John Stewart, the Speedy Druggy issue, and then this one was right in the middle of all of that. So happy to have all 3 of those. So I guess this would technically be an 18-book presentation here for Poor Man's Comics. So there's that. Hopefully I'll have those CGCs soon, but I don't know. We'll see. They've been at CGC since June 1st. You guys probably know better of CGC's turnaround time than I do. So next up, I'll keep churning these since we got some more contests to go. Iron Man 128, Demon in a Bottle issue. Got this off an awesome deal from the Amazing Murphinator on Legends Live Auction, I believe. So once again, just another cover and another story. I'm happy to have in my collection. Been wanting it for decades, so happy to have that for an affordable price. Next up, got this recently on my trip back up from Chicago. Stopped by Maryville, Indiana, and Alex's Comic Order had this book hid in their store for some reason. Not entirely sure why, but he let me know where it was hid, so I bought it. So I got this for about $35, I think. Awesome Jim Steranko art and cover. Amazing book. I mean, this is, if you guys are looking for like affordable Silver Age keys, I mean, this is like the top of the list in my opinion. So check this book out if you guys get a chance. Maybe what is my personal find of the year total in terms of all these books, if I had to rank #1, the best find I've had all year, it's got to be Sandman #1. Got this at half price books for $1. Sandman #1 for $1. I mean, I'm probably not going to top this for the rest of the year, or maybe ever. So, and I mean, it's in gorgeous condition. I haven't been doing too much of the grading lately, but I think I'm going to start maybe getting like 10 books together and send them to CGC. This will definitely be one of them, just to have something cool to represent this awesome, phenomenal Neil Gaiman story run. So happy to have that. I'll go ahead and skip this one for a second. And then recently, I almost can't go the whole video without talking about Y the Last Man. I got Y the Last Man #1. Got most of the run for about $199 shipped. Of course, #1 was in there. Like I said, grading, this will be in that pile too. So one of my all-time favorite stories at this point. I said post-2000s. It's all time for me now, let's be honest. So got that for a phenomenal deal, in my opinion. And then the last one, New Teen Titans #1. If you guys don't know the story behind this book, went to C2E2. just flip through the bins there, no big deal, like any other usual con. And then I think it was Catrin Figures video was showing off. She might have not even been showing this off. I don't know. She was talking about New Teen Titans, and I think I put in the comments like, New Teen Titans has been a book that's always eluded me. Still looking for a copy. Blah blah blah. And of all people, not Catrin, but Poor Man's Comics just happened to be like, hey man, I was at C2E2 and found a copy on the cheap. Give me your address and I'll send it to you. I'm like, what? So anyway, we hit each other up, and he A-okayed this to me. So I guess, yeah, I mean, I still can't thank Poor Man's Comics enough. So the very least, I decided I got to make his contest video. So thank you once again for. He also threw in the first full Kamala Khan too. So that's like Marvel point now something one. Sorry, the number of that issue escapes me. Crazy Marvel numbering nowadays, but nonetheless, I mean, this is one of my favorite finds of the year by far, even though it was an A-okay, I guess you could still call it a find or what have you, or a pickup. But I definitely wanted to have an extra thank you for Poor Man's Comics by showing this book. So thank you once again, man. Can't thank you enough for this. Like I said, this is a couple decades in making me looking for this new Teen Titans #1. So thank you, sir. Check out his channel for sure. Like I said, I thought he was at like 400 or 500 by now. He should be. So check his stuff out. Absolutely awesome YouTuber. Next up, we'll go ahead and get into Matilda Gothica's contest. I believe she's calling it the OMG Freedom Contest. And I mean, if you guys haven't checked her out, absolutely check her out. I believe she's from Israel, so it's a very interesting experience watching her stuff, just seeing how someone, not from the United States, because I'm obviously from the United States, I got the word Chicago across my chest, but just seeing how somebody else, collects comics and, interacts with the community and that type of stuff. It's always awesome to see what she shows off and just her point of view. So we very much appreciate that, Matilda. So keep up the good work. But what she wants us to talk about for this contest says, show a comic you are passionate about and 2 characters that should team up. So the first, I'm sorry. I'll get back to you in a second, poor man. I just forgot the second part of your contest. But anyway, back to Matilda's for a second. Comic I'm passionate about, I guess, the Green Lantern Jeff Johns run. And why I'm so passionate and a big fan of this run is that Jeff Johns, he basically, Hal Jordan, he got crapped on in the 90s. They introduced Kyle Rayner, which I love Kyle Rayner too, don't get me wrong, but the 90s was all about like introducing new versions of characters for a while, and Hal Jordan got not only put on the back burner, but kind of in the garbage can. But Jeff Johns comes along in the mid 2000s, like, I liked Hal Jordan, I'm going to bring him back, and it's just like, usually when characters come back, it's like a run-of-the-mill thing anymore in comics, and sometimes it's just not that special. Jeff Johns took Hal Jordan and made him like my favorite comic book character in doing this series. Basically, he took all these components from all his past, what happened to him in the 90s, and just made turned garbage into gold. Basically, is the way I could put it, I guess. But I absolutely love Jeff Johns' Green Lantern run. I think it ran for about a decade or so. Absolutely amazing stuff there. And then 2 characters I would like to see team up are X-23 and Connor Kent, so Superboy. So I think it'd be cool just because I feel like they're both just clones / lab experiments, and they're both just trying to find a place in the world, in my opinion. So I think these 2 characters would have a lot in common. So I'd like to see them at least interact one way somehow, even though this character, or sorry, Mirror World here, this character isn't even in the DC continuity anymore, and this character is now X-23 again. So a lot going on with this one, but not so much this one. So yeah, I would be curious to see how these 2 would interact, if they'd like each other, if they'd absolutely despise each other. I'm sure they would get along just fine, or at least it'd be very interesting. So once again, check out Matilda's channel. She's got some awesome stuff. She's always doing contest interacting and live chats and stuff. Another amazing person in the community. So thank you, Matilda. I apologize to Poor Man's Comics because I forgot to show my Poor Man's book. So what he wanted me to do is show off some dollar books or stuff you can find at a dollar bin, just good solid stories you can find on the cheap. So what reminded me to do that part of the contest is Green Lantern #1. As you guys can see, I found one for $1. A lot of these John's Green Lanterns have been turning up in dollar bins recently, which I'm kind of surprised. I figured, I guess they just printed a lot of them because Jeff Johns wrote it. But like even from Green Lantern Rebirth 1 and up. You can find these in dollar bins easy. So Green Lantern would be my top pick for stuff you can find in dollar bins. Next up, me and Chad from Reviews from the Batcave were talking the other day about this storyline. I believe it's just called the Super 7. It was a series of 2 Elseworlds annuals from the 90s. Part 1 is actually this Mike Mignola cover here. And then part 2 is the Superboy annual number 1. And I guess this is Adventures of Superman number 6. Sorry about that. But just a cool little Elseworlds premise where the world gets, the DC universe gets invaded by these super powerful aliens. And basically they tell Earth, is like, if you associate or hide or have anything to do with metahumans, you die. If metahumans do anything, you die. Die. So, of course, not only are the metahumans of the DC universe not able to take on the aliens, but the people in these books hate, people like Superman and stuff as well. So it's a very interesting read and one of those very underrated, undervalued reads out there too. No one really would expect like a 2-parter from Elseworlds annuals. So kind of, in my opinion, a hidden gem you might find out there in dollar bins. And then the last one I'll show off, the 52. Like I see these 52 books in dollar bins all the time. If you guys can actually get these together and 1 through 52, which that's how I actually collected almost all of these, except for maybe like the first 4 or 5 or 6. It's a really solid read. I think it's the best weekly series DC's ever put out. I actually got this issue signed by Jeff Johns, Mark Waid, Greg Rucka, and Keith Giffen. So thought that was pretty cool. But I think there's been tons said about 52 at this point. Can't say I got enough good things, but yeah, these are in dollar bins all the time. Pick them up, you see them. They're really good. All right, so last part of the video this week, Bueller. He is probably the, if you will, the hottest rising star in our little YouTube community here. He's already at 750. Actually, I think he's over 800 now. But Bueller, he just did like a 500 sub contest. Now he's doing a 750 sub contest. Next week he'll probably do 1,000 sub contests. So basically what he wants us to talk about is he wants us to show a first appearance book, and then he also wants us to talk about music we listened to in high school. So the first thing I'll just show off, I actually got this in a live auction on Sunday from Aim High Comics. This is the first appearance of Psycho Pirate 2, or I guess the Silver Age Psycho Pirate, whatever you want to call him. Very awesome condition book. Hardly any ticks on it for a Silver Age book. Presents extremely well, obviously. This is Showcase 56. I don't know why I keep forgetting to say the issues tonight. But thank you, Aim High. He hooked it up with a deal on this one, and it shipped in like 2 days. So big ups to Aim High Comics. Check out his channel as well. But cool first appearance there. Can't believe I got this for that cheap on Alex's auction. Very awesome book. And then what I've been looking forward to the most, I think, is just seeing what is in this thing. This is the CD case I've had since high school. So pretty much if I put a CD in here since high school, odds are it's probably still in here. So let's crack it open and see what I used to listen to in high school. And probably some of it's college too, I won't lie, but it's all kind of close together anyway. The first one I have is a Castlevania 20th Anniversary CD. I believe this was distributed if you pre-ordered a Castlevania DS game. This is back when if you pre-ordered something, you'd actually get like a cool incentive instead of having to pay extra for the incentive. So this has, I think, 50 tracks from every Castlevania game. And they're not like remastered tracks. They're the actual tracks from the Castlevania game. So like one has an awesome 8-bit music, and then Super Castlevania has some cool 16-bit music. So it's a really cool CD there. Oh, who doesn't have these in their collection? A CDR. So Napster, am I right? But anyway, who knows what's on there? Probably like Eminem or Limp Bizkit or Kid Rock or something, some Ba with the Ba. So who knows what's on this thing? Maybe one day we'll all find out together. But there's that. I think, like I said, I think post 2000 everyone has a few CDRs. Next up, got Jock Rock 2000. So if you guys remember Jock Jams, this was the variant Jock Rock, I guess. So this one had, they had a bunch of like tracks in between where fight referee Mills Lane would say something like a catchphrase or something like that. And he was also on Celebrity Deathmatch, so I'm guessing that's a big reason why he's on Jock Rock. Yeah, we've got Firestarter from Prodigy. That was a good one. Who doesn't love some Prodigy? All About the Benjamins rock remix. That was actually an underrated song in my opinion, because I mean, Puff Daddy, of course, he did that one. But you've got Dave Grohl does the guitar for that, and it's actually really good. Harvey Danger, his one song, Mr. One Hit Wonder. Third Eye Blind, Bare Naked Ladies. I never liked the Bare Naked Ladies. That was a skip for me. Fat Boy Slim, Chemical Brothers, Cherry Pop and Daddies. Oh yeah, you had to have the swing music in the late '90s, of course. Aerosmith, Run DMC, Walk This Way. That wasn't '90s at all. They just cheated and threw it on there. So enough about Jock Rock 2000. That's probably longer than I should have talked about that CD. Bueller, you're gonna love this one. The WWF Aggression CD. I forgot this was in here. That's for sure. This is like when they did the rap remixes for all the Attitude Era WWF themes. So very interesting CD to say the least. Probably the most notable track was the Run DMC DX theme, where they just keep singing the same two lyrics over and over again. Then Cool Keith and ODB, Method Man, Snoop, Red Meth, Peanut Butter Wolf. Wow, I sounded really white when I said that. East Siders. There we go. So, yeah, WWF Aggression. An interesting CD. What do we got next? Oh, the Scarface soundtrack. This was always a fun listen to. Lots of great 80s stuff on there. And, of course, my screen goes out there. All right. So, Scarface soundtrack. You know what disappoints me, though? Like, if you guys, well, everyone's probably seen Scarface, but, like, the opening theme to Scarface is actually really cool. And they don't have that same version on here. It was super disappointing when I bought this because that's one of the main reasons I wanted it. So, but nonetheless, the rest of the tracks are really good, especially if you played like Grand Theft Auto 3. They have like a whole radio station that's just half that soundtrack. So, next up, this is probably like my all-time favorite CD ever. This is what got me to like music to begin with, and that's the Foo Fighters' Color and the Shape. By far my favorite CD ever. Like from start to finish, I probably listened to this thing like 100 times at least. So you got Everlong on there, Monkey Wrench. There's so many good ones. The way I listen to CDs anymore is like I don't even like pay attention to like what the names of the songs or the tracks are. I just put it in, listen to the first song to last, and that's what I would do with Color and the Shape. But February Stars is another great one on here too. But yeah, I actually need an upgrade on this one because I've listened to it so many times it's all scratched up and everything. But yeah, this is one of the best of all time for me. Oh, next up, Adam Sandler's. They're all gonna laugh at you. So before everyone hated Adam Sandler, he used to do like these like comedy CDs. I think it was like in between like the Saturday Night Live Adam Sandler era and like probably the Happy Gilmore Adam Sandler era, if you will. So I think the Toll Booth Willie skit is on here. Maybe you guys know what I'm talking about, maybe not. But yeah, Adam Sandler, he was in here. Next up, got some Metallica. I think this was, you guys can correct me, I can't remember because I think this is Load. Yeah, I think this one was Load. So let's see. I bought this mainly because King Nothing was on here. I really like the song King Nothing. Other than that, some average Metallica on there. Let's see what else we got. We got some Rolling Stones. Oh, who didn't have this in their collection in the late '90s? The Batman Forever soundtrack. I think this is the one with U2 on it, and then I can't remember who else right now. I might actually have to put this in and listen to it. But yeah, got all of those actors' pictures too. There's some Nicole Kidman right there, and then stupid Chris O'Donnell, and then stupid Two-Face. But I like Val Kilmer in it at least, and Jim Carrey's always fun. So. Yeah, we'll save the Batman Forever discussion for another time. I don't know why this is in here. This wasn't from high school or anything, but yeah, WWE The Music Volume 10. I think it had the Bella Twins theme on it, and Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. So there we go. Another Foo Fighters CD, and that. Oh, here's last two. Once again, not from high school, but it was in the spindle, so it's the soundtrack to one of the Super Smash Brothers games. I think this is the soundtrack to the 3DS version. So doesn't really count, but it was in there, so I figured I'd point it out. And the last one is Nirvana from the from the Muddy Banks of Wishkah. So another great live album from Nirvana from the 90s. So who doesn't love them some Nirvana? Great way to finish off the spindle thing here. So yeah. Don't know where my Batman Robin soundtrack when I get. It's probably still in the the CD thing in my Pontiac Sunfire I had to get rid of about 4 years ago. Probably just left it in there. But nonetheless, go check out Bueller. I think everybody's done a contest or entry form at this point, it feels like. I see at least one a day for him, which is well deserved. Phenomenal channel. He's got, comics and coffee every Monday morning. He's a fellow Comic Core brethren, so every Friday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Pacific, or 6 Pacific, whatever Pacific time is. So absolutely have to plug his stuff, and among everything else he does for the community. So thank you guys for watching this. Like I said, if you guys got a contest going on, you can put it down in the comments below. I'll do my best to get to it. Sometimes, unfortunately, work takes over, or you got 3 videos a week to do or something like that, and you kind of just forget till things are over with. So please feel free to leave a comment, like, sub, all that fun stuff. Thumbs, yeah, there you go. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great night.